Hello, Compass! Thank you to everyone for flying across the country to be here in Denver together. I want to spend the entire speech talking about an incredible, groundbreaking concept. Private exclusives. I may spend a little time on it. Today, I'm going to share where we are, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. But first, there's a lot of noise in the background. Now, at Compass, we're no stranger to noise. We're no stranger to negative headlines. We have a long history of avoiding the noise. How many of you remember when Compass was coming into your market? Did you hear competitors say, Compass is going to fail? Raise your hand, right? Basically everybody. So I thought I could bring you down memory lane. The goal is to show you these headlines are nothing new. All right. Who here remembers when there's a national real deal cover story that said, my prediction is that they're going to go out of business in 5 years. Sorry, Robert Reffkin. Mauricio Umansky, the agency. And then in the same article, the CEO of Douglas Elliman said, I don't believe it's going to take that long. Or what about this one just a couple years ago? Business Insider, I wake up in the morning, national headlines, there's no fixing Compass. It's unfixable. That was Jason Oppenheim. This is in Bloomberg News. What they are doing, it doesn't make sense. The question is, how is it sustainable? That was Brown Harris Stevens, Bess Friedman. We have nobody goes to Compass for a software solution. That was an Inman. And my favorite of them all, particularly for this group, is Compass's referral network is practically useless. So, how many people here, raise your hand if you got a referral from another Compass agent? All right. Now, my mom told me a long time ago, don't focus on the headlines. Focus on the trend lines. And so that's what we did. We said, we're going to create the trend lines. We raised billions of dollars to invest in the future of the agent, to invest in things that would help you grow your business. And the result was we became the #1 brokerage firm 4 years in a row. Now, pretty good for a company that should have gone out of business. Now, the moment we're in, there's a different type of noise. This noise isn't just coming from competitor CEOs. This noise is also coming from organized real estate. Now, what is organized real estate? NAR, MLSs, Zillow, entities that create mandatory rules on how real estate agents must be organized, on how you must work with your clients. And if you do not follow these rules, you will be fined or banned. They create these rules because they need your listings. If they don't have your listings, it puts their business model at risk. Everything in this moment is about choice versus control. Who is going to be able to decide how homes are marketed in this country? Will it be controlled by organized real estate, dictated by them, in fear of bans and fines? Or will the homeowner, with their agent, be able to decide how they market their home? I have 2 goals. One for the home seller and one for the agent. For the home seller, I want them to be allowed to decide when, where, and how their home is marketed. For the agent, I want your name, your brand, and your full contact information back on your listings. Now, this shouldn't be, just look at this for a moment. This should not be, the fact that you have to fight for this shows how far we have fallen. How much organized real estate over 20 years has taken more control. 30 years ago, you wouldn't have to fight for these things. Now, people ask me all the time, they say, Robert, why are you fighting so hard every day, every weekend? Why are you thinking about this all the time? Why? I will explain to you why. 2 reasons. 1, because this is simply right versus wrong. Organized real estate dictating how you work with your clients is wrong. The second is that Compass only exists to help you grow your business. If we cannot help you grow your business, we have no reason to exist. You are my clients. I work for you, not the other way around. And it is my job. It is my job to give you an advantage. It is my job to give you an edge with your clients. It is my job to help you grow, save time, and better serve your sphere of influence. And so when we come up with something that helps, I want to do more and more and more of it. And so I'll ask you, raise your hand if the Compass 3-phase marketing strategy helped you get a listing. Now look around. Look around for a moment at all these hands raised. That's why I am fighting so hard. Because it helps you. And that's my job, to invest in anything that can help you with your clients. And the reason why organized real estate is fighting back is they do not want the 3-phase marketing strategy to exist. Because 3-phase marketing strategy means there are listings that are not on their platform, period. That's all it is. They want all activity, all transactions in their platform. I want to share a story. 5 weeks ago, I go to an open house. And, I like to go with my wife and my family. I don't know if my family likes as much to go as I do, but every Sunday, and we put on social media often, and we want to support our agents. And so this is Esteban Gomez. It was a private listing, but it was his first private listing. And I asked him, why'd the client want to do it, a private exclusive? I sat right on those red chairs, and I remember saying, so tell me, why'd the client want to do a private listing? He said the client wanted to test a record price and knew that if you test a record price on the open market with the portals, if you are wrong, you will have a public price drop that will make you look damaged. He said the client understood that there is no way to publicly test a record price without the risk of looking damaged if you don't get that price. He then told me, because there wasn't time pressure from days on market, that he was only doing showings between 4 and 5:30 when the sunset was coming down in Tribeca. Smart, strategic. He then tells me that he emailed all the top agents using the Compass network tool across brokerage firms, and also put it on social media and said reach out to him directly if anyone wants to bring a buyer across firms. He said the majority of showings were agents at other companies. When I left, there were 2 agents from different companies. One was from Brown Harris Stevens, one was from Douglas Elliman. And they were standing outside with their clients. I heard one of the clients say, I can tell this is going to sell quick. Because there's demand, 15-minute blocks for all the showings, demand outside. Everything was strategic, thoughtful. It created exclusivity, tension, scarcity. Ultimately, he got a record price. The client got everything that the client wanted and more. The buyer paid for the transfer tax. Now, why did the buyer pay for the transfer tax? Because he was able to say, given all the visible demand, that she said to the buyer's agent that my client is willing to sell this to you without going to the open market, without having you face the competition of an open market if you pay for the transfer tax. And then the buyer said, okay, I'll pay for the transfer tax. In this scenario, everyone won. The seller got their record price and the transfer tax. The agent looked amazing. The buyer agent looked amazing to their client from a different brokerage firm that came from the agency. And, of course, the buyer was really happy because they found something that met their dreams. I asked Esteban at the end, I said, what did your client say? And I remember he looked at me, he said, what did my client say? What did my client think? He thought I was a magician. Think about that. My job, like that is the happiest thing I could ever say. Here, an agent saying, Robert, this thing that you're investing in made my client feel like I was a magician. It gave him the pride, the dignity to feel that way. And this thing, organized real estate wants to end. We cannot allow that to happen. What he did also, you should know, is against both the MLS rules and Zillow rules. I want to be clear. His MLS, like many MLSs, will not allow you to put a private listing on social media. His MLS, like many MLSs, will not allow you to email agents at other companies about a private listing. Zillow's new rules will not allow you to email agents at other brokerage firms your private listing. So this system that allowed him to look like a magician to his client and get a record price for his client, organized real estate will not allow him to do. That's just not right. And at Compass, we have fought over and over again to create things to give you an edge and advantage with your clients. We invested in Compass Concierge. Over $1 billion of our money we put alongside your sellers. We lost a lot of it too. Not all your sellers paid us back. We put $1 billion of our money with your sellers to make homes move-in ready, staging, deep cleaning, cosmetic repair, so they sell for more money in less time to help you get a listing. And that is an example of what we do. We invested in time and time technology like Compass Collections, or Compass One, Marketing Center, Reverse Prospecting, Business Tracker, Likely to Sell, Make Me Sell. Now we're the #1 traffic traditional brokerage site. We have agent branding, Compass 3-Phase Marketing, Top Referral Network, Compass Coaching, and events like this. So now I want to let you go behind the scenes. Let's start with what is NAR. NAR is the largest trade association in the country, both by number of members, 1.5 million agents, and by dollars. NAR plus the state association, local association, and MLS are estimated to generate over $2 billion a year by charging you dues, annual dues. They have mandatory rules that are designed to keep it this way. So let's say there's the 3-way agreement. That's one of the rules that says if you want to access the MLS or the state forums, you must pay your national, state, and local association. National is NAR. Then there's rules like clear cooperation, which are designed to make sure that there's never a competitor to the MLS. Because let's just imagine, if you didn't need to use the MLS, let's say there's a national listing service, not 500 local services. If you can get all of your listings and share with a national listing service, you didn't have to use your local MLS. How many of you would stop paying NAR if you didn't have to? So that's why these mandatory rules exist. If you were the CEO of NAR, you'd do the same thing. They're trying to protect their business model. But clear cooperation was not a rule against private listings. You must know that. Every headline will say it, but it's not true. Here's the proof. In your market, how long can you do a Compass private listing? How long can you publicly market outside of the MLS? 1 day. So clear cooperation is not a rule against private listings. It's a rule against publicly marketing outside the MLS. Because if we could, how long would it take for a national entity to come up and let us share all of our listings outside of the local regional MLS? The Bay Area has 5 MLSs. Who wants 5 MLSs in the Bay Area? Now, how were they able, when they're not the government, they're not elected officials, to force every homeowner in the country to give them the listings? Well, it doesn't hurt that they're the biggest lobbying organization in the country. They spend more money lobbying government and elected officials than any other entity in the country. $86 million of your money. It's not their money, it's your money. That's 3 times Big Pharma. That is 4 times Amazon. Amazon's $19 million. It's a $2 trillion company. Ask yourself, for the $86 million of your money that they spent last year lobbying the government, what do you have that you didn't have a year ago? Other than lawsuits. All right, maybe wrong question. Let's slow down. Well, but, look, what do you have in the last 4 years? Did they give you health care? What did they give you in the last period of time? I know what they gave themselves. They gave themselves a new headquarters launched 4 years ago with your money. Your money paid for this. That's their boardroom, 3 floors high. The chandelier probably costs $1 million. This is the room where rules like the fines are approved. NAR approved the MLSs. Of the 500 MLSs, they own 80% of them. Right? They're all interconnected. They allow their MLSs to fine you up to $15,000 per listing. They said they will let you them fine you up to $15,000. The average agent makes $50,000. Under what world is this okay? What other trade association fines their own people? Just think of one. What other trade association would even consider fining their own people for something that the government wouldn't even think is unethical? Like putting a sign in your yard. These are not made up fines. These are real, for real people. This is an agent, one of our agents, who was fined $2,750 after tax money for putting a sign in her yard. And she didn't put it in the MLS for more than a day. It was $2,500 was the actual fine, but there was a $250 processing fee. See on the left where it says ethics fine. If you put a sign in your yard breaking clear cooperation and you don't put it into the MLS in one day, that is considered an ethics fine. See on the bottom, thank you for your patronage. If there's anything that shows you they are a monopoly, no company can get away with finding someone $25 and saying thank you for your patronage if you had choice. This is the evidence you do not have choice. And it's not just a one-off. This is the largest MLS in the country. CR stands for California Regional. California Regional MLS. They have over 100,000 agents in their MLS. This is their MLS citation policy. There are over 80 fines. These are just fines for agents. If you asked me, Robert, in 10 minutes, make up 80 fines for agents, I don't think I could figure it out. I don't know how you could come up with 80 fines. Of these fines, 34 are $1,000. Of these fines, 10 are $2,500. This is about what's right or wrong, choice versus control. So now I'm going to bring you deeper behind the scenes. I'm going to start by sharing you a video of Rob Hahn, who's a real estate analyst, interviewing one of the top Wall Street analysts for real estate companies. And the point of what I'm trying to share with you is all the real Wall Street analysts I know, when we talk about what's happening, they all know NAR and Zillow and MLS rules aren't designed to protect the consumer. They're designed to protect the listing supply chain, which is you. Here you go.
You know, we can talk about private. I think private listings is like a misnomer for what actually is what matters in this whole debate. But it's funny because the industry stalwarts out there paint everything off the MLS with a broad brush. That if it's off the MLS, it's therefore a private listing, and because it's a private listing, it's anti-consumer.
Right.
The reason why it's anti-consumer is because you can't market the private listing. Well, why can't you market the private listing? Because NAR says you can't. So, anyway, we can go down a rabbit hole on that. But the reason why it's anti-consumer is because NAR makes sure that anything off the MLS is anti-consumer. Who's to say that a listing off the MLS is not still widely available to everyone.
You remember when we had Compass Coming Soons. They were on our site, available to everyone. Then Clear Cooperation came and said you must hide those in your company. You are not allowed to cooperate and share listings outside of the MLS. If it's outside the MLS, it must be hidden in your company. But I'm going to give you the best example I can of how these rules are not designed for the consumer, they're designed to protect the MLS. You remember about a month ago, I launched the private listing book. I said any agent, anyone can come off the street and look in any of our offices and see our private listing book. We'll have a digital one, we'll have a physical one. Now, why did I do that? Because it pained me deeply to see how organized real estate was trying to tell the world that you, Compass agents, only do private listings because you want to double-end deals. And so I thought to myself, what can I do to eliminate this sentiment? Hey, if we tell everyone, come to our office, and we will show you these listings that sellers don't want on all the portals in the MLS for whatever reason, no days on market, no price drop history, privacy, whatever it is, we will show them to you. I thought that would tell a signal to the world that we're not trying to double in deals. But guess what happened? Within hours, in the same morning of us launching it, that MLS, the largest MLS in the country, sent us this email. If any outside Compass agent or non-client of Compass sees any exclusive listing in your book, it will be a CCP violation. By the way, we got a lot of emails from MLSs, just like this. So why would an MLS not want an agent from another company to be able to come and see all our private listings in our private office? Is it to protect the consumer or protect the MLS? They want all activity, all transactions to flow through their system. I'll give you another example. This black box on the right. I'm very proud of this black box. I'm emotionally tied to it, actually. Because I want you to have the peace of mind to know that no brokerage in the country is more transparent than Compass. Can you go onto Sotheby's brokerage site or any brokerage site and see on any search, any market, any price point, product type, exactly how many listings they have off the MLS? Of course not. Can you go into the Sotheby's office and say, hey, can I see all your private listings so I can show it to my clients? Of course not. We are being incredibly transparent. No one else shows all the listings. But you know who wants this off? Zillow. Zillow said if we don't take that box off, because remember they care about the consumer and transparency, if we don't take that box off, they will say every private listing is banned. I don't know how they'll find the private listings, but that's what they've said very directly. Do you think they want that box gone to protect the consumer or to protect the perception that all listings are on Zillow? It's the latter. It's to protect their business model. Two more behind-the-scenes examples. This is the MLS antitrust compliance policy. This is from NAR. It's on their website. If you can see on the bottom right, it says 2004 is the last time it was amended. No word has changed since 2004. In yellow, it says boards and associations of realtors and their MLSs, remember they're all owned, it's their MLSs, shall not prohibit or discourage participants from taking office exclusive listings, private exclusives. Does it feel to anyone the last year that we've been discouraged from our private listings? Or is it just me? Now, if I were to tell you that the second largest state association in the country, California Association of Realtors, 200,000 agents strong, that they had last month, they had a private vote, closed doors, not open to the public, hundreds of people, representatives of organized real estate voted to end office exclusives, directly going against their own antitrust policy. This is that room. The CEO of California Association of Realtors is on the right, Phil Hawkins. There's the proposed amendment, and it passed to end office exclusives. Now, all of you in California, How many of you said, I went to CAR or had friends in the brokerage industry that said, I want to get rid of office exclusives? How many of your clients said, I want to get rid of it? But this is what's happening. How many of you even knew this happened? I mean, this is a big deal. The second largest state association going against their own antitrust policy. Antitrust policy is designed to create competition, to prevent collusion of companies going across an industry to create a rule that helps that industry at the expense of the consumer. They want us all competing against each other, they being the government. That's what those laws are for. Now, the last example I want to share with you is of my favorite company. Anyone want to guess? Zillow. All right. Zillow, so this is from 2 weeks ago. You've all seen this probably. Well, I hope you've seen it because Zillow wants you to see it. Zillow's listing access standards. What agents need to know. They want to make sure you're all educated because the ones that are buying and selling real estate. Here in the yellow, at Zillow, we believe everyone deserves fair access to real estate information. That sounds really noble, right? I like that. It's good. That's why we introduced our listing access standards, designed to protect transparency and foster a competitive market for buyers, sellers, and agents. By ensuring listings are widely marketed, sellers benefit from maximum exposure, which research shows typically leads to higher sale prices and a quicker sale. And a quicker sale. It's almost like the world forgot that for 3.5 years, Zillow bought 20,000 homes as an iBuyer, convincing homeowners to sell off the MLS. And now you're saying, So look, only one can be true. Either you took advantage of homeowners for 3.5 years as an iBuyer, buying homes on the cheap, or your research isn't really accurate. Now, I believe, and look, we're all smart enough to know, this research is not accurate. And I'll give you the proof. If it were accurate, why last year did the smartest, most sophisticated, repeat, profit-driven sellers in real estate, home builders and professional developers, sell hundreds of thousands of homes off the MLS? There's no other way. If homes sold for more on the MLS, they would not have done that. These are the most sophisticated repeat sellers of real estate. But also on Zillow, you should know if we take off the black, they say if you take the black box, your private listings, you can have them as long as you want. Really, they just want them to be completely hidden. They want to go back in time. You have to have a friend in the country club to know that they exist. It has to be in your pocket, right? They want any sense that they exist has to be hidden. That's what they want. But the coming soons, remember, that are on our site, anyone can search, any buyer, seller, any agent anywhere, that has to be only one day. If it's more than one day, then you're banned. It's basically a message to every homeowner. If you don't let me make money off your listing, I will ban you. If it's not there, it gets banned. But I think it's worth sharing with all of you where the Compass coming soon came from. I first saw the words coming soon from Zillow. 2014, Zillow launches coming soon. Search for and find homes before they hit the market. That's why we created it. You couldn't make this up. And look on the right, this is the press release. I remember reading it. Displaying a home as a coming soon on Zillow helps agents, it helps agents and sellers. Now it helps agents and sellers gauge buyer interest and test the list price against current market conditions and can help reduce the total time a home is on the market. They just said in the listing standards that it's the opposite. Knowledge about homes that will soon be on the market gives buyers a leg up. Oh. So it's okay to give buyers a leg up as long as it's on the Zillow platform. If it's on someone else's platform, it's not okay anymore. Now, with all this Zillow talk, I want you to know I support all agents at all companies, particularly those at Compass, that work with Zillow and that buy leads. Some of our best teams who have been at Compass for the longest amount of time, they are not just supporting themselves and their families, they're supporting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50-person teams, and Zillow Leads help them do that. This isn't about them. This is about the industry and about all agents. And so, what are we going to do? Where do we go from here? Two things. One, we need to help you grow your business. If every one of you double your business, if every one of you double your listings, we cannot be bullied anymore. That is the path. If there's anything I can do or Compass can do that you think we're not doing, email me directly. This is the time to go all in on doubling your business. And I'm going to show you something a little bit later, a preview of something I think is going to help. That'll be the fun thing at the end. But the second thing to do, and this would be the dream, is if you can just share with your clients the truth. Portals don't sell properties, professionals do. Now, you allowed your clients for over a decade to believe that newspapers sold properties. And in the listing presentation, you talk to them, like, we're going to market it, I'll put it in this newspaper. So we've done this before. But now you have a portal who's trying to tell every one of you how to operate your business. And so here are 5 points that I would, if you want, I would encourage you to share with your clients. Number 1, 90% of buyers work with agents. And agents search the MLS. They don't search portals. Number 2, portal views do not equal results. Zillow had 200 million people search them last month. Only 4 million people bought last year. That shows these people that are searching Zillow, that are looking on Zillow, are doing just that. They're looking. 3, Zillow is only involved in 3% of transactions. In their own investor materials, it says they're only involved in 3% of transactions. 4, Zillow trains agents to divert buyers away from the home. Now, this is an important point. In Zillow's public website, their public training materials for their scripts that they give to the people that get leads, they say that you should, if you get a lead, say, Zillow notified me that you're interested in the home at address. I'm calling to connect with you and share some more information about the property. I've also found some similar homes I think that you'll like. Now imagine you're a developer. You invested $300 million in a development. 100 units. I'm your agent. You hired me. If you heard me tell a buyer that came in to want to see a unit, if you heard me say, yeah, I'm happy to show you this unit, but I also want to show you some other developments I think you'll like, you would fire me on the spot. But every homeowner in the country, their largest asset in their life is being pushed into this system. I believe you as a fiduciary, you have an obligation to at least let them know how this all works. Lastly, that Zillow's negative insights hurt sellers. If you're trying to sell your home for $3.1 million, do you want a Zestimate on it that says that it's $2.9 million? 175 days on market. Do you want that on your listing? 2 price drops. Would you want that on your listing? A buyer's going to ask one of 2 questions. Either how much do I have to pay to win this listing, or how much do I get off list price? If there's 2 price drops, they're going to ask the latter. Climate risk. The word risk is on every listing page on Zillow. Do you want that on your listing? Insurance, critical, bike score, walk score, somewhat bikeable. I don't even know what that means. And then the newest negative insight. Have any of you seen it? Offer strategies. On the top right, it says, if you want to buy this home, if you put in an offer that is $200,000 less than what the seller is asking for in this circumstance, you have a 90% chance of winning the listing. At a minimum, please make sure your clients are aware. And so we have, as of today, in Marketing Center, social posts, digital newsletters, listing presentation materials that you can give to your sphere of influence, all approved by Compass Legal. And look at this. This is for buyers. The last page is for sellers. This one's for buyers. Look on the right. Zillow no longer displays all MLS listings to buyers. Below it, contact your agent regardless of their firm to get access to all the MLS listings. You have never had a moment as good as this. All you have to do is share it with your clients. You are stronger than you know. The Compass agents alone, nearly 40,000 people strong, the best agents in the country. You have over 100 million contacts in the Compass CRM alone. Imagine a world where you share all this with your sphere. If your clients no longer believe they need to be on these sites, then the portals lose their relevance. And you get the leads back from your listing. Yes. Now, Zillow is playing tough, and they want that black box off, right? They don't want anyone to know that there are listings that aren't on Zillow. And so that's what they want us to give them. Want me to tell you what we're going to give them? We're going to give him this billboard. So my ask of you is if you're in one of our major markets and you know the perfect location of a billboard, you take a photo, you email me, robert@compass.com, so we can put this up there. It's approved by Compass Legal. Well, the future of real estate, we've always worked to make sure it's in the hands of the agent. And as I shared earlier, we're working on something to help you grow your business. We invested $1.8 billion in the Compass platform. It's the only platform end-to-end from search to close for buyers, sellers, your CRM. And we have an AI team that my co-founder, Ori, is helping to lead. And with AI, you can do things that this industry has never seen. We're launching this summer a product that will allow AI to, for any client, for any transaction, for any task, do a multitude of things to help you grow your business. I'm going to give you a brief demo right now. This is real. It exists. Rory did the demo last week. And it will launch again in beta this summer and for all agents in the fall. Here's a demo.
Good morning, Compass AI. Please create a contact for my new client, Jacob Wells. His email address is jacobwells@gmail.com.
Jacob Wells' contact has been successfully created. Would you like to add a business tracker folder for Jacob? If so, please let me know if Jacob is a buyer or a seller.
He's a buyer, and please include my full transaction buyer checklist. Once that's done, create a collection for him for Tribeca, New York, 2-bedroom homes with a maximum price of $6 million. And after all of that, send him an invite to Compass One.
The business tracker deal for Jacob Wells has been successfully created. The timeline has been successfully added to Jacob Wells's business tracker folder. The collection for Jacob Wells has been successfully created, focusing on 2-bedroom homes in Tribeca, New York, with a maximum price of $6 million. I have also created a draft invitation email for Jacob Wells to join Compass One. Would you like to invite Jacob to Compass One, our client dashboard?
Definitely, let's do that now.
The invitation to join Compass One has been successfully sent to Jacob Wells at jacobwells@gmail.com. If there's anything else you need, feel free to let me know.
That's it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So 20 people will get access next month. I can't promise you'll be one of the 20, but if you really want to get on, you can email me that as well. Look, this is what it will do. Every interaction in the Compass platform over the course of time has been saved. And so it could do and answer anything for you. Examples. Every morning at 8 a.m., please send me the top 10 things I can do to grow my business. And it will tell you, based off the platform, likely to sell, the actual likely to sell person to email with the CMA created. It can tell you, hey, I'm in Malibu. What's the best day of the week to list? What's the best time of that day to list? What's the right first photo? Is it the beach or is it the front of the building? Because we have sent thousands of listings in Malibu into the internet with response times for the open rate. It can tell you, hey, can you please let me know in the last 2 years, every client I have where the home has likely appreciated by more than 15% based off the comps. And for each one of those, can you create an automated CMA in seconds? And that's what AI can do. Can you please tell me for all of my clients which ones are now searching Compass every day, so that I can reach out to them and say, hey, let me know if you're active and you're interested. Tell me which clients are searching a different market. The Compass platform saves everything, and it's made to empower you, not to replace, devalue, discount our agents, but to empower agents. That's what Compass is about. And so this is a great moment for Compass. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me work for you, and the best is yet to come.